Welcome. This is episode 2 of our shortened prenatal series. Last week, or yesterday, whenever you did the first class, it was 30 minutes of hip opening, and we ended with a hip opening shavasana, hip opening supta baddha konasana. Today, we're going to kind of explore the side body. So these are your breathing muscles, your rib cage, all the intercostals, the chest, and when we open up with different side lateral flexion with different stretches, this is just the why behind what we do in yoga. We're actually toning the musculature of our diaphragm and our breathing muscles, everything that surrounds our lungs. So we'll get started today sitting up on your knees. If it feels not so good to sit on your knees, you can roll up a blanket or even put a pillow underneath your knees to get started. You can shift the weight back into your toes if that feels better. Cool thing about prenatal yoga or yoga in general is it should always fit you. It should be for your body. It should be on your own time. And it should only be about what you can do when you can do it. I just like to preface classes with that because we have sometimes expectations of what we think yoga should be or look like or feel like. And the only thing that it should feel like for you today is like a big warm hug, like a big ray of sunshine. And I say that, in all seriousness, that if you move into a pose that does not feel good to your body, I want you to immediately get out, because that's not what prenatal yoga is for. We want to wrap ourselves in this, this healing breath, healing movement, so that we feel better when we get off of our mat and we're able to move a little bit more mindfully and just, evoke the parasympathetic nervous system that's going to keep us happy and healthy and strong, both pre and postpartum. Okay, so you're seated on your knees, and let's sit up real straight here. We'll sink in our breath with movement. So take one hand to your rib cage, one hand to your heart. Deep breath in through your nose, filling up your belly, and then this bottom hand, you'll start to feel that hand move out. At the end of the breath, at the top of the breath, the heart will lift just a bit. You might feel it in the throat, in the top of the head. And on a slow exhale, watch the shoulders here sink and soften. Let's do it again. Keep your chin up, sternum nice and lifted. Breathe in. Feeling this bottom hand expand laterally, and exhale. Feels good. One more time. Deep breath in through your nose, tailbone down, crown up. Beautiful exhale. Take your arms at your side body, and we'll take some big shoulder rolls. If you'd like to sit back down on your heels, you can. So we're moving our shoulders up and back. Roll them forward, up and back. One more time. Roll them forward, up and back. All right. Taking your arms really, really wide, like somebody's pulling you east to west here. Breathe in, take them up. Breathe out, swim it back. Just some mindful movement. Breathe in, take it up. Breathe out, swim it back. Interlace your fingers when you get here, right at your sacrum. Palms are touching. Hands go down, gaze goes up. Beautiful. One more time like that. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swim it forward. Interlace your hands. Inhale, roll your shoulders down and back away from your ears. Look up. All right, and then we come back to center. So with your hands down and your knees down, inhale, open to cow. Exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the pelvis for cat. One more time like this. Inhale, cow. Exhale, tuck your chin, tuck your pelvis. Extend your left leg behind you. Your foot is flexed. And we're keeping both hands on the mat for this first rotation. Place your left foot on the floor at about 45 degrees and then swivel this heel back like a kickstand. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, peek it underneath you in that little hole you made. There we go. Inhale, bring it up. And exhale, weave it through. One more time. Inhale up and exhale down. From here, your top hand and your core will guide you up preparing for Purgasana. This is gate pose. Left hand down, inhale, right arm up for gate pose. And it's called gate pose because it kind of looks like a gate. So this left hand anywhere but on your knee. So if it can't quite reach your shin, let's take it right to our thigh. Really breathing into the rib cage to your right side body, right about here. Beautiful. And then we'll take it out of this. Right hand down, left leg up for modified side plank. And this left hand can be up or it can be over your head. If it's too much, you can always drop the foot, give it a little reprieve, and then jump right back in. Keeping your left foot as flexed as you can, toes pull in towards the kneecap, belly in, transverse abdominis tucked in. Beautiful breath. Let's do that again. Plant the foot. Fingertips, top hand and core pull you up. Prepare for gate pose. So all 4 quarters of the left foot is down. Inhale, reach up, up, up. Beautiful. On your exhale, right hand down, left leg up. Maybe extended. And then we'll circle out of this. Big toes touching, knees pretty wide. Sink your hips back, child's pose. Couple breaths here. Beautiful. Pop up onto hands and knees. We'll extend our right leg. Foot is flexed. Just get a feel here for what it feels like to just lift the leg in the abdominals. And then plant the foot on the mat. Take your left foot towards knee. So we're using it as a kickstand almost. And then your right hand moves up. Breathe in, lengthen. Exhale, hug. Inhale, open. Exhale, hug. One more time. Inhale, open. And exhale, give yourself a hug. Inhale, reach. Hop up onto your fingertips. Top arm and core pull you up. You are a T shape. And on your next inhale, we're moving up and over for side lateral flexion, stemming from the hip point and moving all the way out your left fingertips. This is Purgasana gate pose. From here, left hand down, taking the right foot up. The right foot stays flexed the entire time. Beautiful. And let's take this again. So take the right foot down, top hand and core pull you up. Inhale, up and over, gate. And exhale, left hand down, right leg and arm up. You can even extend it for a challenge. Beautiful. Take both of your hands down, both of your feet down, and just tap the tops of the feet on your mat. Curl under your toes. Walk your hands up for a little toe stand. Just giving the arches of your feet a little bit of love today. A couple breaths here, in through the nose. And out through the nose. While we're in toe stand, let's take eagle arms, arms out. And then wrap your right arm underneath your left so your elbows are stacked. Beautiful. Arms out. And left elbow underneath the right elbow. Inhale up. And exhale, hands to heart. Let's untuck our feet. Tap them on the mat again. And then we'll take our forearms down to the earth. And hop up onto your tippy toes for a forearm plank. Belly in, knit your ribs back. If it's too much, you can always drop your knees. You get a lot of the same benefits, just a less intense variation. Pushing into the elbows, pushing into the palms. Breathe in and breathe out. Drop your knees. Shift your hips back, child's pose. Beautiful breath. Come on up into quadruped, so we're on all fours. This time we extend the left leg. And the right arm. 5 deep belly breaths here in the spinal articulation. This is all core exercise. And as much as you can do these gentle, kind of attainable core poses during your pregnancy, it will help so much with the birth process and postpartum. Two more breaths. Beautiful, and last one. Take your right hand down, left knee down. Extend your left leg again, cross the midline, toes down, shift your hips back. Beautiful, come back up. Extend your right leg behind you, foot is flexed, toes towards the kneecap, extend your left hand. We will take 5 deep diaphragmatic breaths here. Beautiful, last one. And you're out. Extend your right foot again, foot's flexed. Cross it over your midline, toes down, shift your hips back for your calf stretch. Beautiful, then come back to center. Cross your ankles and we'll come to seated. All right, so there's quite a lot of things that we can do to move us into a full relaxation for yoga, especially in prenatal yoga. So we did some core movement. Now I want us to find some stillness on the mat today. All right, so if you have a pillow or a bolster or a block, rolled up blankets, I want you to take a moment here and just get everything, get all your tools, okay? So I have a bolster here. I have a block or 2 here. And if you don't have blocks, you can use books from your bookshelf, kids' books, whatever. Okay. Lots of different ways to get set up for a beautiful rest. Okay, so our first rest today, and these are more yin poses, so we'll be staying here for a significant amount of time to get in the deep tissue and the musculature of the body. But I want your pillow or your bolster to be up front as we move into half pigeon. I got this nice cozy blanket because it just feels good to wrap yourself up in blankets when you're doing these yin yoga postures. It feels good. And a block or a book to help make the ground a little bit closer to you. First up, half pigeon. Take your right foot back, knee down, top of the foot down, and then take your your left leg forward. So the pose intensifies as the heel moves away from the body. As the heel moves in, it becomes a little bit easier. Make sure the foot is flexed. And you see this pillow you put in front of you. That's where we're going. Inhale, proud pigeon, puff up your chest, breathe in. On your out breath, let's slowly start to walk it forward to your degree of flexibility, not overstretching. See this block? You can place it underneath your hip if you need to make the ground a little bit closer. It makes it less intense. Okay, so we'll be here for about 5 full minutes. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. We're breathing and resting, and we're trying to eliminate any muscular engagement on anything that's clinging along the left side hip, along the left side body, and of course, tension in the face. All right. Deep diaphragmatic breath, trying to make your breath fluid. Remember, the way you breathe is the way you live. Let's breathe big today. Let's breathe with a whole lot of intention. If you turned one ear, let's go ahead and turn the other ear down. We're about halfway there on this side. Beautiful. And take your hands underneath your shoulders as we navigate into the other side. So first we'll pause a moment in this Baddha Konasana. That's that butterfly pose, bound ankle. Your heels together and your toes together. And we'll take the left side up and down, keeping this right leg stationary. Just moving it a little bit. Lots of intention, mindful movement here. Now let's like glue left one down, take the right one up and down. And then we'll sink back, plant both feet, hips go high, gaze goes up for your reverse table. Bend the elbows, sit the hips down. Let's revisit that one more time. So driving your heels to the ground, hips to the sky. Inhale with mindful movement, come up. Beautiful, and exhale, bend their elbows, safely sit down. All right, opposite side. We have the 2.5 minutes, so you will have been in this pigeon pose for 5 minutes, 2.5 on both sides. Your right leg is forward, your left leg is back, and remember to adjust. Foot is flexed, breathe in, proud pigeon, puff up your chest. On a slow and steady exhale, forward fold to your degree of flexibility. Be mindful of overstretching. You have lots of hormones in the body. Deep, generous breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Every inhale, you lengthen through your spine. Every exhale, you sink and soften into your mat, into your pillow. Taking a couple more rounds of breath here in your half pigeon pose. And on your next inhale, hands underneath your shoulders. Push up. Shift the weight of your body slowly, like you're moving through water, to the right first. And then take both feet together. Back to your bound ankle. This time we take both feet up and, both knees up and down. And from here, inhale, lengthen. Look up, exhale, forward fold. Same thing here, but just for a moment. Won't be here too long. Let your head find a pillow. Inhale, look up, and on your out breath, let's slowly release. All right. So our legs are pretty open, nice and open hamstrings and hips. Let's take the pillow or the bolster behind you now, or if you have a block or a book, it's also a great time. We're moving into resting bridge pose. Resting bridge is one of my most favorite poses for prenatal yoga because it feels so good. It's a nice decompression of the lumbar spine. I'll be using a block today, all the way down to your back. Pull your heels in as close as you can to your sits bones. From here, we're not looking left, we're not looking right, we are looking straight up. You're starting to peel up from the lumbar spine, bone by bone, coming all the way up until you find your shoulder blades on your mat. Search around, find your block or your book, place it right at your sacrum. I like to use my block the widest it can go because it just feels the most supportive for me. If you want, you can also layer the block up and down, make it a little higher. That's just preference. From here, let's take our legs and our arms all the way out. So we're looking for full spinal decompression here. Beautiful. Pull your knees back in for your resting bridge. And your knees can splay open. They can also come together. It's just preference. One hand to heart, one hand to belly to foster that connection between mom and baby. Breathing together and moving together. This is yoga for 2 or 3 or 4 if you're having multiple. Make your breath fluid, intentional. Deep breath in through your nose, filling up your belly, your ribs, your chest. And exhale. Same way we got in, flick your eyes open first. Slowly start to lift up again from the lower vertebrae, just enough space to remove your block. And then bone by bone, shoulder blade, come down, middle back, low back, and then sacrum. Pull your knees into your chest, and we'll rock to the right. And come back up. All right. And we have just a couple minutes left for some of my favorite restorative yoga postures. Remember that blanket you found? Let's go ahead and take that blanket nearby. You need another blanket. We're patting the hips to take Viparita Karani. Your legs will be up the wall. So you scoot your right hip or your left hip right to the base of your wall, to where the wall meets the floor. Okay, and our legs are going all the way up today. And you are on a blanket. Make sure you pad those hips. And this is the time where I like to call upon my cozy blanket because it just feels so nice to be wrapped up, knowing that all of these poses are becoming a part of you now, and you're having these restorative healing benefits. Some of the cool benefits of legs up the wall are a decrease in varicose veins, a decrease in swelling, it helps with migraines, it helps lower the blood pressure. It also helps with swelling. So if you have swelling, I invite you to get your legs up the wall at least once a day for 2 to 5 minutes. It's a great way to end the day. All right, let's breathe here for a couple minutes. And if you feel your legs start to splay out, you can always tie them up with like a rope tie or a yoga strap and just tie it right at your shins, so that if they do move out, if you get super relaxed, sometimes it happens, then they won't, go flying out too hard. Okay, breathe and rest.
deep belly breaths here. And start to flicker your eyes open if you closed them. If you tied up your ankles or your calves, let's go ahead and undo that. And we'll just take both of the feet out, since you're already at the wall, for just a wide straddle. Still using your blanket if you need it. Again, it just feels good, especially for these yin poses where you're holding and you're not building much internal heat as you would in a more vinyasa class. Beautiful. Let's take our gaze to the right, stretch the left side neck. Take your gaze center. On your exhale, take your gaze left, stretch your right side neck. Beautiful. Come back to center. And with the help of your hands, let's bend our knees and pull our legs together. From here, pull your knees into your chest, those big toes touch, and splay your knees out, moving into a different plane of Baddha Konasana, just for a moment. And then we'll pull our knees together and roll to the right or left, coming out of this. And making your way back on your mat. So that was legs up the wall. You've already done your 2 minutes today, but I invite you, especially if you have a lot of swelling going on, to get your legs up the wall. It just, it feels good and it really works. It really works. Okay, let's prepare for Shavasana. A couple different options for Shavasana when you're pregnant, and they're all just very relaxing, so I invite you to pick the one that serves you best. The first one is making a ramp. So we'll be lying on our back with a ramp. Bolster and block are great tools you can use. You don't have to have them. If you have a textbook and a pillow, it will do the same thing. We put a block in the center of our pillow or our bolster. So you've made this nice ramp, and this bottom part will be where your sacrum goes. Search around and find your blanket. You will need a blanket for Shavasana because you'll be here for some time. Your feet are about the width of your mat. Turn your toes out. Okay, so we've let go of all of the engagement of our lower body. You take your back, place it right at the base of your bolster or your pillow, and slowly start to recline. So from here, you might need to scooch down or up depending on where you place the bottom of your pillow. And there's nowhere to go, there's nothing to do. You can splay your arms out. You can take your arms up overhead. If you need more of a heart opener, you can also take hand to belly or both hands to belly, okay? All right, that's option one. Option two, and probably my favorite by far, keep your pillow, shed your block, grab your blanket. You take your your bolster in between your legs. This is side lying Shavasana. And you use your bottom bicep like a pillow. You can also use an additional pillow here if you have one handy. I'll invite you to grab it. And you can cover yourself with a blanket. And this is side lying Shavasana. I still sleep like this to this day because I started that in prenatal yoga. Okay, nowhere to go, nothing to do. Pick one of those variations. We'll be here for 3 minutes, 3 little minutes. I'll mind the time and I'll wake you up when Shavasana is over. Slowly start to deepen your breath, bringing the awareness back to that base of the belly, filling up your belly, your ribs, your chest. And exhale through the nose, chest, ribs, belly, noticing the depth of the exhale, trying to extend it, lengthen it for just a moment. Again, deep breath in through your nose. Extend the length of your exhale. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, taking mindful movement back with you throughout the rest of your day. Reach your arms back, feet towards the front of the house. Full body stretch. And then pull your knees into your chest. Gently rock on the lumbar spine from side to side. And when you're ready, let's land on one side, maybe the left, maybe the right. Push into the earth, maybe in Sukhasana, easy sit. You can take your blanket with you if you still have that blanket on. At my yoga room today is freezing. And we'll close the practice just like we started. Spine is nice and straight, gaze is soft, and crown is lifted. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. If you lost track of your breath, let's find it again. This time take your right hand to your rib cage and your left hand to your chest. Breathe in. Notice this bottom hand. And breathe out. Anytime you get caught up today, I invite you to go here and focus on your breath. Hands find your heart. From my heart to yours, all my love, all my light, and all